Just taking a little bit longer. It should be working. There we go. Okay, we're live on YouTube. So welcome everybody who's watching over there on YouTube, and welcome also those who will watch this later as a recording. We are delighted to have you with us. I am Jocelyn Starfeather, and I am here with Titanya Dahlin. Welcome, Tanya. Thank you so much for being a part of our broadcast today.
Oh, it's so wonderful to be back on Sacred Planet podcast again. Thank you, Jocelyn.
Yes, so wonderful to have you here as always. And let me just say, everybody who's joining on YouTube, please go ahead and put your name and location into the chat. We would love to see who's on and where you're joining from as we're beginning here. And Tanya, I will go ahead and share a little bit more about you and your work for those who may be watching and may not know you yet. So Titanya Dahlin is the daughter of energy medicine pioneer Donna Eden. Titanya has taught energy medicine classes internationally right beside her mother for the last 25 years. As a third-generational intuitive healer, Titanya reads the vibrational colors in people's auras, which are called life colors. Like a blueprint of who we are, life colors validate our spiritual life path, including career, marriage, children, and what life partner we are attracted to. As we have an electromagnetic field around our body, the Earth too has a vibrational field around it and moves through its own life colors in history. When this happens, the whole global human race and planet also goes through their own lessons depending on the life color they're in. And this is so fascinating. I can't wait to dive into that more with you today. So Titanya says that we are in the age of indigo right now, and the indigos are leading the way in incredible breakthroughs for the healing of our planet. There is a new generation of children that is following in the indigo's footsteps and are bringing love and light to the planet where it is needed. Our talk today will help us to understand these new vibrations of children that have been here with us for the last decade and how it impacts all of us. Titanya is also a certified Waldorf teacher and created energy medicine for kids and energy medicine dance based on the work of her mother. She feels that her greatest spiritual teaching of all has been as a mother of an extraordinary, diverse little boy and the two near-death experiences in fertility that led him to her. And you can learn more about Titanya's work on energymedicinewoman.com, which we will link below the video. And so your topic for today, Tanya, is the gifts of love among us, understanding the next wave of intuitive children. And I'm just so excited to talk to you about this. I think this is so important. And those of us with kids and grandkids, I'm sure, are experiencing this in so many ways. So thank you for bringing this topic forward.
Oh, I love talking about this topic because I think that these little children that are being born today and in the last 10 to 15 years are really essence of light and love to the planet. And it gives us hope. It gives us inspiration for the future. And they are really helping us to find that love and light within ourselves, which some of us have lost. And we are reconnecting now.
Yes, absolutely. So could you begin by sharing with us a little bit more about this concept of life colors and what are life colors? Tell us more.
Yes, so I have been diving into life colors since 2006, but before that, my mother was teaching life colors from her teacher, Nancy Ann Tappy. And Nancy Ann Tappy was the person who really coined the phrase indigo kids. She was the one who saw indigo colors in the aura of the children that were born around the harmonic convergence in around 1987. And so these children were born in this essence of harmony with the planets and love, and now they are in their 30s and 40s. She is the one who coined the term indigo kids. We'll come back to the indigo kids. Life colors. She was the one who coined the term life colors. She was Pretty much, she was blind and she actually had a synesthesia that she tasted life colors. And that's how she began to connect to the auric field or the energy around people and realize that everybody has a different vibration, a different color that is coming through them. And she coined them life colors. And life colors, my mother, who also sees energy, she is the one that started taking classes from Nancy and realizing, oh, this is what she was seeing in people's auras. And this was around 1975, I have a feeling. It was around that time. And my mother realized, oh, this is what she was seeing. And Nancy helped her know and about this a little bit more. There was only about 12 colors at that time that Nancy talked about, and then throughout her lifetime she gave a little bit more information on a few other colors. But since 2006, well, my mother was teaching about life, and every single teacher in our organization would write down information. We always loved to learn about life colors from my mother. And then in 2006, it just kind of opened up for me. I didn't know I was going to step into this world, but something began to speak through me and with me. And it is my auditory ears, my tonal ears, that bring in the information, and also in my feelings. So kinesthetic and tonal are my ways to bring it in. And all of a sudden it started speaking to me when there was a woman who was in panic that in my mother's book that she had signed, she said that she was a dusty rose and she had no place to go. And somehow, in my panic of wanting to give this woman some information, some weird energy came through me, and with glossy eyes and kind of a monotone voice, I said, I'll tell you what that means. I'm like snapped out of it. And I was like shocked that something was coming through me. And I had no idea what dusty rose means, because my mom had just the 12 colors. And all of a sudden I made an appointment with this woman. And my partner just said, in my panic, just let go, just do what you do. I know who you are. And so I did. And I talked to her, and all of a sudden this opened up. I thought I was getting everything wrong. And all of a sudden she said, you told me all about my life. You told me about my purpose. You told me where I'm going in life. It is so right on and aligned with where I am. And then from there, 2006, I started gradually opening up. And then now I've read many, many people. So life colors show the essence of who you are. It is the energetic blueprint of who we all are, down to what we like, what we don't like, to the careers that we choose, to our highest hopes, our goals in life, to our life partners. And even if we want to have children, or if children are not in our life at all, that our career is everything and children aren't there. It tells everything. You evolve through every single life experience. And in this lifetime and in the preceding lifetimes before, we all probably had different colors. We evolved through them because the life colors show your lessons and challenges in life. And so we grow and move through them in order to evolve. And so we call them life colors because it is about this life. And at the same time, the soul holds the kind of files of every life color that you've ever had. And it's exciting because right now we are on the planet and there's such a transformation. There's such an incredible changes happening. We're all feeling it. And what I love to say is that we are living in the indigo age. It is the age that those children that were born in the harmonic convergence are now in their 30s and 40s. And that energy has kind of expanded into the world. And that energy of the indigo energy is showing up in our own personal lives and on the globe. And much of it is in the form of breaking through to our own truths, to who we are, and not just human beings, but spiritual beings, because the indigos are very much connected to that other side, to who they are. And that's what they came in with. They were little warrior spirits when they were children, really challenging their parents and challenging the teachers and challenging the medical system. So though all those systems had to really change and meet these young kids. Now they're in their 30s, 40s. Some of them have crept into the 50s, and they're bringing scientific breakthroughs on the planet to help the planet survive, to help us as humanity keep on going. And so this is the energy we're in. And when the energy is on the planet, just like the aura around ourselves, when it's on the planet, we're all experiencing it, but we're experiencing it through our own life colors. So whatever challenges we have, it's going through and having like a veil of the indigo. And so on the planet, one of the things about the indigos is they're very much connected to the spiritual. They're very much connected to their own psychic abilities. And it's one of the reasons why I believe that we're opening up to our own gifts that we've always had since we were little kids. But as we developed, we got responsibilities, and maybe a school system shut you down, just like what happened with me, or a family didn't support you in your spiritual gifts, because children are always open to all of their senses. They're so aware and conscious, but they do it naturally. They're in this amazing place of magic and in between the worlds. But as we develop, it begins to get shut down. So a lot of people come to me and want to open up intuitively, and I say it's always been there, but it's all about remembering and practicing opening up again where those places have got shut down. Long answer, but there you go.
Wow. Yes. Thank you for sharing that with us. And it's so beautiful to think that, we're each moving through our own life colors, but then also the earth is as well. And of course, we're a part of that. We're a part of what our planet is moving through. Now, just so that I understand a little more clearly, do our life colors change as we go through life and we go through different stages?
Well, Nancy and my mother all say that you are born with this color. It's like something you chose before you came in. You knew kind of before you came in, you knew, okay, I have to deal with this. I have to connect with this lesson. And those life colors come in. And we have always seen that you are born with the color and you die with the color. But also with my readings that I have done, my mother has seen this too. She used to see it very rare. Now we're seeing it more often because of the planet and the way the planet is swiftly moving and evolving. We are too evolving in our colors. So, but we cannot quite jump from one color to another color. I believe what I have found is we move in shades, such as one of the things for me with my near-death experience, one of the colors I have is red, and red is wonderful in its own right. It is very sensual. It is very connected to the sexuality and their body. It's Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was all red, and yet there's an innocence to them. It's not an outright sexuality. It's kind of a little bit of a joy that comes through the red. It's not seductive and sexual in that way. It's kind of light. It's like when Marilyn Monroe was in the subway and the wind picked up her dress and she goes, and she pulled down her dress. That's a red. But you connect to Ruby. Well, I say that Ruby is like Sophia Loren. And Sophia Loren says, look at me. Oh, look at this. Isn't this great? And she just kind of flaunts it in front of your face. And she knows who she is. rubies are a little bit more grounded than reds. Reds are a little bit more light filled. So I say that I've seen people when they go through really hard challenges, they can move through the shades, whether they possibly, I'll give an example of mint green is very, sometimes with mint greens, it's a beautiful love-filled color, but they let money slip through their fingers. They don't have an attachment to money. And so finances are very hard for them. And sometimes when they move through their colors to green, a deeper shade of green, which is the color of money, then all of a sudden things start being luck filled with money. And I also say you can wear some deeper colors in order to connect with parts of your life that are empty, such as finances or love in the different ways. Colors are vibrations, and they can really help us grow and connect to that which we want in our life.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for explaining that in more detail. Yes. So could you tell us next about the next wave of intuitive children that are coming in, and how are their traits different from previous generations, and what do we need to know about them?
Yes. Okay. Well, starting with the indigos, the indigos, like I say, they were little warriors, and now they are older warriors. They are in their adulthood. They are in these responsibilities. They are the ones who were the truth seekers, the ones who were really seeing truth for what it was. If someone was lying to them, a parent or a teacher, they could see right through it, and they get down to truth. It is on the globe too. Things are becoming transparent. Truth is coming up to the surface where it wasn't before. And also they bring a polarity of the light and dark, the polarity of let's say, the man woman. That's sometimes in indigos, they're bringing forth this he, she. We can't quite tell sometimes what young adults are. Are they a girl? Are they a boy? Are they both? That is also that polarity coming forward. It is the polarity in our lives of challenges and blessings coming in. It is so much in the way of polarities, and I know you talk about that a lot, but that is part of the indigo. They bring in polarities into the planet, but it is about breaking through to a truth in our world that we need to know in order to evolve to the next level, and a truth within ourselves too. So these new kids that are being born, and we've seen them on the planet for about the last 10 to 20 years. Around the 15 to 20 years, there were individuals that came through. Now they're coming in as a group soul. And that happens with life colors too, where sometimes individuals come through and sometimes they aren't quite understood by society or their family or the systems, and they're different. That these new kids that are coming through are following indigos and have even more awareness within themselves. They're young still, some of them underneath the age of 15, and yet they're little geniuses too in their own right, very psychic, very aware, very conscious. And because a lot of them are coming in right now in the last about 10 years, the group soul has moved in. When a life color has a group soul, they connect to other beings. When they come in solo, kind of solo artists, like Michael Jackson was one of them. He was an indigo. He was indigo and violet together. And he was different, and he was sometimes misunderstood, but he was a genius in his own right. And but he had that indigo way about him, and an opening a consciousness to the planet as well. But he came in without his group soul. So it was very hard to understand some of the younger ones who came through. But when children come in, that generation is an energy that begins to help the generation before them and the generation before that understand this energy. And so when they come into their adulthood, all of a sudden they understand more of this energy. And so the planet, it begins to expand on the planet. And one of the things I love about the new kids, which I will talk about in a moment, is that their greatest mission is bringing love and light to the planet, and love and light to ourselves, especially because so many of us have disconnected from ourselves, loving ourselves. We need to get back to this place of loving ourselves and connecting to the place of source within us, because we have put source outside of ourselves for many, many years, believing in things outside of ourselves, whether it's government, whether it's truth outside of ourselves, whether it's religion outside of ourselves, and coming back to the place and loving, bringing love to ourselves. That's what these children are coming in with, which is wonderful to think about the planet and the evolution of the planet, bringing love and light and connecting to that. So the kids that are being born, we have titled them in this way, that there are colors within their aura. So one of them that came in first was the opalescent children. And the opalescent children have pastel colors all around them, many, many colors. It's not just one, which I think is a wonderful thing to think about for coming into the evolution of the planet. Many colors, not just one. We're all united. So the opalescent colors, pastel colors of light blue, light pink, mellow yellow, soft greens, all around them. It goes on. And their energy is very, very soft, sometimes very shy. They pull their energy in, and yet they have these incredible awarenesses, very psychic, very connected to animals, all these children. It's like there is a group of children, opalescent, rainbow kids, and iridescent. They're all in the same group, but they have split off into different energy systems within the group. And then the rainbow kids have a lot of vibrant colors around them. It is vibrant purple and vibrant blue and vibrant pink, vibrant orange, and their energy is very loud. And it says, I am here, pay attention to me. And so they can be labeled as ADHD, very fiery, and sometimes hard to control, because they're not about control. They're about really allowing us to see that power within us where we cannot be controlled. It is about allowing our wings to spread free. And so that's a rainbow kids. And then the other one that is new to the planet, that is coming in within, I've seen a few of them come in around 7, 8 years, but they're going to be coming in more and more, is the iridescence. And the iridescence, it's the title that my mother came up with because it's what she saw in their field, is they do have many colors, but it is like translucent, and there's an iridescent kind of silver coming through them. And they're very connected to star systems. They're very connected to planets and space, and maybe connected to the science of astronomy and perhaps astrology even, because all these children are very connected to in between the worlds and the other side. And it's so important to keep that alive in these children, because that is the energy that is being brought forth. Their children are going to be something completely different. But this energy on the planet, this new wave of energy, is about peace. It is about love. And we totally need more of this on the planet. I think there's a lot of shaking up, because that's what indigo energy does. It shakes up things in order to come to the earthquake of energy, in order to come back down to the peace. And that's what these children are coming in with. A lot of these children are being born to families who are aware, finding themselves to families who are aware, even through adoption, which mine did. I have a little 6-year-old who is a rainbow kid, and he just got kicked out of preschool, and it's so sad because he's so different and he doesn't fit inside the circle time. Doesn't want to do circle time. He wants to stay on the outside. He colors outside of the lines. So we're trying to find his way, and he will find his way. But that is part of the rainbow. He doesn't fit inside of a box, and these children are really helping us to evolve if we connect to them and their beautiful souls, and remember the joy, remember the love within, because they are so connected. Yeah.
Wow. 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 Thank you so much for this detailed description of this new wave of children that has, I guess, three kind of subwaves, right? And I love
Yeah.
that they all include all colors.
Yes.
Um, that is so beautiful. And it makes so much sense to me, in thinking about what we're moving through. And as you said, how quickly everything is moving and how we need to evolve. And it's so beautiful, to consider this, that we're part of this larger family, we're part of this larger family of all the planets and the different galaxies, and that, there's this beautiful thing happening where the earth is changing, and the children are saying, yes, I want to go. I want to go. Just as we did in our generation, we said, yes, I want to go. I want to help. I want to support. And these kids are coming in with these amazing gifts. And, your son, as an example, we don't need more kids to fit into the system, and there are some who will, and that's fine and all good too. But we really need kids that are ready to come in and break down the old systems that are not working, and to see, well, yeah, this really doesn't work for me, and I'm going to find a new way. So it's
Exactly.
powerful. They're coming in with the knowing of that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. So how can we support these children then as parents and grandparents, caregivers, as educators? What can we do to help them?
Yeah, well, I love that there are new ways to reach these children, because there are these conscious parenting, peaceful parenting coming in, where it's not the old, where it's all about discipline and you go to your room or you go to time out. It's really about being one with these children. And when a child is in their temper tantrum, or they're triggering you into going into an anger or going into emotion where you can't handle your child. One of the things that I love about peaceful and conscious parenting, I just became a peaceful parent coach, and it's just very connected to connecting with these children that are coming in, because it is about finding out what's triggering you inside as a caregiver, whatever caregiver that is, if it's a grandparent, a teacher, a parent. And if that child is really triggering you as a teacher, if he doesn't want to stay in circle time and you're really trying to keep him in circle time, finding out what's triggering you, because that is part of healing our own little kids. Most of us that are listening to this podcast, we are in our adult phase, and we are going back to those places of healing ourselves so we can heal the planet. It starts with us, and then it moves out that energy to the planet. And the greatest thing is to heal ourselves, heal our little girls and little boys from the past traumas from before. And that's what these children are doing. When you can understand, what is this anger that's coming up in me? Why is it coming up in me? Is it because my child isn't listening to me? Do I have a trigger with people not listening to me? Yeah, I do. I have a big one. And so when you connect and start connecting with your little girl, little boy inside, and say, I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you right now. And what do you need in this moment? Then you can calm yourself. And then you can meet your child. And I believe that children are awakening us to pay attention to ourselves, to heal ourselves in those moments. And it's really hard in those moments when you are freaking out because you want the best for your child, but you don't know what to do. But those amazing tools of possibly just conscious breathing and just putting one hand on your heart and just breathe and okay, now I'm going in and I'm going to be with you. One of the things about myself is both my son and I are fire elements, which is in the Chinese 5 elements, it's fire. And so many people might label my son as ADHD and maybe even label me as this too. Although I didn't get labeled as a child, they would have labeled me as this because I'm very, very fiery. I express myself through my body. I go up and down and all over the place. I'm very fiery. And so he and I can meet on that same level. And one of the things that I have found when one of the triggers for fires is they panic, and my panic goes into anger, and so I can be quick to anger. And so when I meet him on a fiery path, which is very much about play, children, that's one of their natural things they do is play. But with fire kids, when they meet you, when you meet them with play, it begins to calm down their system. So if he's having a tantrum and I don't know what to do, I will go in and whatever subject that is going on, maybe he wanted that toy in the store and he's had so many toys, in his life that is like, oh my goodness, is my child going to become spoiled with buying him more and more toys? So I go in and he's having a tantrum in the store and I begin to play with him and I begin to tickle him. And I say, okay, you want that toy? Okay, maybe ask for Santa or maybe birthday's coming up. And I begin to tickle him and he begins to laugh and he kind of moves out of that. And then whatever experience he was going through, then when he moves out of whatever he was experiencing in his emotion, especially with fire kids, then I could go back in and say, okay, let's be curious about what was going on with you. And I have to ask him questions, and I can't ask him too many. You can't ask children too many questions. You have to just stick with one. Well, was it about you really wanted that toy and I wasn't going to buy it for you? Or was it because Sawyer had that toy and you really wanted that toy because Sawyer wanted that toy? Asking them questions and then getting them sparked. When they get sparked of, yeah, that was it. Sawyer had that toy and it looked really, really cool. And I wanted that toy too. Then you could come down to helping them express themselves and get down to what it was and then find a solution afterwards. But you have to bring them down and you have to meet them in that same energy field. And I think it's so important with kids to do, but that peaceful parenting and it's not about just being peaceful when the child is going through their thing and saying, oh, the child is ranting and raving and saying, calm down now. Oh, I think you need to lower your voice. It's not about just being peaceful yourself. It's about finding why it was that you were triggered. And when you heal that within, that little girl and little boy, that begins to help yourself as an adult. And then the next time that it happens, you realize, okay, I'm not being listened to. My child isn't listening to me. Okay, calm down, little one. I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you. And then you can listen to your child so that later on in life, they're not having the same belief systems as you do now when you are an adult and they're not dealing with them so much. I think it's an amazing awakening that children are bringing to us.
Yeah, that is really amazing. And I really hear and feel that, this is a big responsibility for those who are parenting these amazing children coming in, right? So for those of
You're
us who
so right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
And
so right, Jocelyn. One of the things my sister told me when I was talking to her about peaceful and conscious parenting, it is a big responsibility. You have to stick with it. You have to stay with it. It's easy to discipline. It's easy. Go to your room. Go sit in timeout. It's easy. That's easy. But later on, the consequences of being an adult and having those places of not being in your power and feeling like you don't have a voice, oh, they're going to come back and hit you, and it's going to be those parent challenges later on. So you're right. You're right about the responsibilities, and it takes time, but it is about the healing within and healing for your child to not carry it on.
yeah, right. And in what you explained about, in the example about your son in the toy store and, and how you're able to shift the energy of that if you go in with this conscious and peaceful parenting approach, it's really beautiful because it's teaching the child to, look into, okay, why do I feel this way? What is my trigger, right? As the child is essentially what you're asking him.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then these children will be able to grow up being able to look inside, see what's really going on, and adjust their own reactions as they get older. So that's really powerful.
Yes. Yes. Mm.
Amazing. Well, do you have any energy medicine practices that you could share with us for parents or for children?
Yes, I would love to. So, so some of the things that I do with my child, there's a lot. There's so much, and you can find it a lot more on my website. I actually have two websites, Energy Medicine Woman and Energy Medicine for Kids. And but some of the things that I do when he is in his temper tantrum and when he allows me to touch. Now it's really wonderful to find out where your child's love language is, and my child's love language is through touch. He's very kinesthetic. He loves to even kiss me on the lips. I'm like, oh my goodness. I know as a teenager he's going to be probably pretty wild because he's a fire. But he loves the touch, and that is a sensory tool to calm down children in general, but just touching and stroking, especially when they go down to sleep, just stroking from the top of your head to all the way down. And when they are in that place, if he's on the floor and he's flailing around, I will just stroke the aura. I will just go down and just talk to him and start stroking his aura, and I can really feel him calming down. It's his nervous system that is getting agitated, and it's our nervous system as parents and caregivers that get agitated. So some of the things that you can do as a parent, and you can even be in the presence of your child, and it works great to do the exercises on yourself. And when you are talking with them, you can do these exercises, and the easiest thing to do is rubbing your hands together to get some energy on your hands, even warming them up and putting them on your forehead and just brushing your hair back, which is this energy. We call it calming the lion's mane. The lion roars and you want to turn him into a big pussy cat, calming the lion's mane. And this goes backwards on triple warmer energy that starts at our temple, goes over our ears and comes down to our heart. It's a really good one for women who are going through menopause too, and calming hot flashes, but just calming. So I sometimes just brush my child's hair and calm him when he's in that place. Sometimes he doesn't allow me to because he's in the emotion and wants to get it out of his body. And it's so important to let children get it out of their body. Don't freak out. It's hard because it's easy to freak out as a caregiver when they're flailing and yelling, and their energy, just like a wet dog, is trying to get it out. So sometimes I'm just in the field and I'm just doing this because bat my hand away if I'm too close to his head. But when he starts to calm down, then I can go in and start to touch his body. And then I'll rock him and I'll calm him. And we'll get down to what was happening when I'm rocking him and the solution of where it is. That's one of them. Calm the lion's mane. And then the other one is putting your hand on your forehead and a hand on the back head. And this is really good for night terrors, which my child had a lot of, nightmares, but also to help the front brain, this part of connect to the back brain. So when we are in fight, flight, or freeze, we lose some of the blood coming into our brain, and it just begins to escape into our limbs in order to run away. And that's what children are doing. They're like flailing. They're trying to get it out. And nobody understands trying to get it out. So when you do this, as a parent, and it's a really good practice to do in your stillness and breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. I sometimes call this the front head, back head sandwich, or the hold, front head, back head hold. It just helps both brains, all brains, come together. You can even do it at the side as well. So front and side, bringing your brain back in. And then afterwards, I will smooth it down into my body and my body awareness. It's so good to get into the body, because these are our vessels in our lifetime that tell us messages in order to understand. And when we connect to the messages that our body is helping us to see, then we can move from there. Oh, my body is feeling tight. My body is feeling like there's butterflies in my stomach. When you just take your hands and put your hands on your tummy, usually those butterflies will start to calm down. Breathing and calming down the butterflies. So it's so important to connect into the body, because we go up into the head too much. And in that fight, flight, or freeze, we get discombobulated. Our head and our body aren't connected anymore, and we can't think. And so it's really good for caregivers. That one's really good. And calm the lion's mane.
Oh, that's so helpful to know. Thank you. I want to try these out with my kids, and
Yeah.
and I so value and honor the energy medicine. For years and years, I've been doing the Donna Eden daily energy routine almost every day, and especially if I feel a little off mentally, physically, whatever, it's just incredible. It's just
Yeah. Jocelyn, since you do so much with Egypt, I want to tell you, sometimes I think, I'm like Sekhmet when the anger energy goes out, and calming the lion's mane brings me back to Bast, the cat goddess, the one that is curled up by the fireplace. So it's like Sekhmet, and then bringing it back, and that balance between the two. So I just wanted to add that, because you are so connected to that Egyptian mythology.
Yes, that's a beautiful illustration. The transformation from Sekhmet to Bast. Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you, Titanya. I know we're almost at the end of our time here today, and I feel like I have 5 more questions I could ask you, but I'll stop for now.
Yeah.
And I just love what you've shared. So thank you for bringing this to us.
You're so welcome.
And I know you have a wonderful free gift for us. So it's tips to nourish your child's intuitive soul. So could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. So these are things that I have worked with my own son and other children, to keep them aware as they develop, because, life is sometimes so heavy. Life is heavy. And sometimes when they go into responsibilities, when they grow up, those are the faculties that start disappearing. We want to fit in with our peer groups. We want to sometimes follow rules and what we're supposed to do, not knowing what we are supposed to do. And so that's when the faculties leave. And so diving into these places of trying to figure out how to keep intuition alive for my child and not have it go dormant like so many of us are as adults. Those are the tips for keeping them alive with your child, but also you can use them for yourself too. There are some tips going out into nature and being aware of opening up your senses, just sitting right by a tree and opening up your senses for sight. How far away do you see to the close, mushroom or flower? Your hearing, how far do you hear to how close do you hear? Just opening up those senses, because all of us have the capacity to be alive in our intuition and open up our senses, but one or two of them will come forward stronger than the others. And that's what you have to lead from. A lot of people want to see energy. And if you aren't somebody whose psychic intuition leads from sight, you possibly might not get to it. But yeah, if you are somebody who hears greatly, you hear the water dripping from a faucet in a classroom from a lot of different people, that means that your hearing is very acute and you can hear different conversations going on at once. That means that probably might come through your intuition. It's part of the reality of your sound, but that is another topic that possibly we could go into another time, Jocelyn. But it is being aware of all your senses and coming to be practicing opening up in the intuition. So you could use this little chart of mine that I created for yourself as well as your children. But it starts with you. When you begin to use the practices, your child too can follow and be aware of what is around them much more. So it does start with you as the caregiver, because they learn from you.
Oh, this is so beautiful. Thank you for offering this free gift. And it sounds like it'll be amazing for all of us, adults and children.
Yeah.
Benefit from. So everybody, you will find that link in the description field below the video. It may take us a day or so to get that posted. So just check back if you're looking for it, sooner and it's not there. We'll get it posted as soon as we can. And I hope you all will go and claim that free gift and really enjoy. Wow. So thank you again, Titanya. It's just such a pleasure and an honor to speak with you. And thank you for your time today. This has been really beautiful.
Oh, it's always wonderful to connect with you, Jocelyn. Thank you so much. And thank you to your audience too for being here.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, everybody out there, I hope you've really enjoyed this interview and received so much from it. And definitely check out the free gift link below and the links to Titanya's websites below so you can learn more about her work and engage with it there. And hope you all have a wonderful, beautiful day.